Okay, so now that you know the code is that they shroud all the light in darkness. They basically take your parents and all your ancient knowledge and they make a boogeyman. They put a boogeyman on it. And then when they put a boogeyman on it, because you're so scared of the boogeyman, you basically believe you either need to worship the boogeyman, which is not stomachable, or you just are going to be afraid of them and never accept the truth. So let me show you the truth about Halloween, because I've worked to crack this for years and I just got it from the ancestors. And so I would love to share it. I'm always also in a position that if I said something in the past and I find a higher truth, I'm going with the higher truth every time. I'm not going to be sitting there looking at you like I know everything and I knew everything already, or I wouldn't be here looking at you then. That's obviously obvious. Common sense ain't common, but here it is. The other day after I finished a deep meditation, the ancestor came to me and said, Sevan, what does hollow mean? I said, as in Hallow? Say, yes. I said, well, I remember that reference in the Bible, hallowed be thy name, but I don't actually know what that meant. So I actually Googled it. Google comes back with the interpretation of hollow meaning to make holy or sacred, to sanctify or to consecrate, to venerate, to venerate. Remember that word, to venerate. Okay. So obviously the next thing that would come to mind is Halloween, right? But at the end of the day, or at the beginning, I would think of Halloween and I would think, are we venerating ghosts, demons, goblins, devils, vampires, and vampire chicks with pink horns, all this kind of stuff, right? That's what we're venerating, right? Or is that what that holiday is supposed to be for? So we find that when we use our code, our cipher, that they're shrouding all of the real truth in darkness. We find that there's a day called Dia de los Muertos, known as the Day of the Dead, right? Because that's where it originally came from. But here I have underlined for you, prior to Spanish colonialization in the 16th century, the celebration took place at the beginning of summer. Okay, so right away, we know that Halloween should not start on October 31st. It should start 3 days ago. Okay. Now, also, that's the beginning of summer. Okay. Now, also, we got another situation here because apparently this is basically saying in a nutshell, and I just got to make this quick as possible. What this is saying in a nutshell is that this was about the ancestors visiting the earth to see you. It wasn't a time for you to venerate the dead. The dead were happy because they were actually where everybody is. They were with the whole cosmic family, not behind the scenes in the divide, behind the curtain of Dr. Oz, right? They were here in the space when they let go of the body and go into the spiritual realm. So it wasn't the spirits that were in prison and need to be venerated. It was actually the humans that were still imprisoned on earth, which was basically saying they are still in the dirt and they can't actually get out. So there's a certain time that we visit them, and that's at the beginning of summer. And when we come for 4 months, now that they know, they shortened that to 2 days. For 4 months, we would keep bringing you, and this is why it never makes sense to have altars to you as a little child. You would see all this stuff stacked up on the altar, and you'd be like, Mommy, but spirits don't eat. So why the hell are we bringing food to them? Because this is this is the tradition turned upside down. This food was for us. Everything that was on the altar table were things the ancestors would bring to us. Just like if somebody visits you in prison, they'll bring things that you like. They'll bring things that help you remember who you are, your gifts, to try to keep you encouraged to also not only do your time and get the hell out of here, but not to incur more problems in your sentence because you would be looking forward to leaving. So if you inherit some of this hatred and some of this stupidity that you see going on, it's just going to only prolong the time that you're here, that you need to be here to figure out that all is self, okay? And maybe there won't be some sevens around trying to explain that to you so proficiently next time, because it's all like roulette. It's a roll of the dice to what body you get in next. So do the right thing now, or the balance thing, as I say. So this food is a symbolic for what should go to the person. Now, visitation is a cosmic right. There is a cosmic court. There's a cosmic constitution, and that is still upheld by the Moorish kingdom or the Saturnalian kingdom, meaning that there's judges, there's lawyers, there's all of that you see in this lower world, but exists on the cosmic level. And the only reason why it can't intercede on your behalf, the only reason why 4 months of your visiting days can get decreased to 2 or 3 is because you're not standing in line for yourself and actually saying you're not a color anymore, that you're actually someone that belongs to the portal, your mother, etc. Right? So I hope I got that through very clearly. But visitation is a cosmic right. Visitation, even in prison, a person's in prison, which means Saturn or bars, jail. all that law, the bar exam, all that is a reference to Saturn alien kingdom, doing time. Okay, so it is your right to have visitation. So what's supposed to happen here 3 days ago is your ancestors start visiting you. Now, if you think that your ancestors are dark, demonic, evil creatures in your subconscious mind, guess what? We're going to war. And that's going to happen now. Externally, I'm not sure if it can be stopped, but within 2 weeks, Israel is probably going to make a move because that's what this is all about. They're even saying this. They're even prophesying this themselves. They may go to war with Iran. And this is basically Jupiter and Saturn added on the as below distorted level, okay? So, and there's conjuncts and things happening around that time that align those two planets. This is why astronomy or astrology will show you everything, that there is nothing indeed new under the sun, but it'll also allow you to learn how to profit from the things that are actually happen, mainly by not getting your fields churned up and everything destroyed because you weren't in the right time or in the right place. So the reality here is that we have now to observe in this period, as I said, our ancestors as they truly are, not as, you know, as funkendating components that brought life, bring happiness, bring joy. This time specifically that we're in all the way up to November 1st is supposed to be the time that we keep getting more of our abilities, more of our gifts, so that we can break ground, like actually poke out of the earth and actually begin to grow. Many of us are already grown, but our branches must be, as our branches are wide, our roots must be deep. And so we have to know what's down there, because that's what's happening to most of the people that have been birthed under the fifth sun, which is the recent cycle that we just left. They have a hell of a crown chakra, but oh boy, as heavy as the head that wears the crown, they have no roots, meaning that they just fall over. The moment that they get all this power and this awareness, they go extraterrestrial. Everything becomes outside of them, extraterrestrial. Everything that is not about Earth and what is happening here, but what's going on out there. And they're guessing. And they're bad guessers generally because they don't have an eye. And if they have an eye, it's cloudy because they use distorted judgments of what they learned about the ancestors to determine what should be happening next. So this is something today that you get a chance to put the brakes on. You get a chance to now turn your own wheel and actually get into the fortune for sure, because their gig is up. And once you realize this, you'll start looking at stuff that you've seen all around you that's supposedly like the boogeyman, as I said, and find such a deep connection with how that relates to your history and her story, then it'll all click for you. And that is power. So this is not about throwing lightning from the hands like a Sith Lord. This is about you coming into total awareness of who you truly are, that all is self.